Have you ever wondered why some people achieve just massive, mind-boggling success, while others, who have the exact same resources and intelligence, by the way, stay completely stagnant? It's this giant puzzle that's been baffling us for over a century. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the invisible mechanics of human achievement and exactly how you can harness them for yourself. So does success really just come down to luck? Do random lucky breaks out of nowhere dictate who gets ahead? Well, author Napoleon Hill spent years, literally years, studying highly successful people to figure this out, and his findings totally flipped the traditional script. As it turns out, success doesn't start with a lucky break. It actually begins right inside your own mind. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First, we'll look at the success puzzle. Second, key steps to start. Third, overcoming fear and failure. And fourth, maintaining small habits. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the success puzzle, mindsets and internal dialogue. Look, success means something totally different to everyone. Maybe for you, it's building a massive business, or maybe it's just finding some inner peace. But whatever your specific goal is, reaching it starts with mastering that internal dialogue you have with yourself every single day. Imagine two people facing the exact same opportunity. One thinks, this isn't for me, I can't do it. The other thinks, you know what, I can learn this, I just need to try. From that split second, their results completely diverge. Those limiting beliefs on the left, they act like a padlock on your potential, dictating your outcomes far more than any external circumstances ever could. Let's move to Section 2, key steps to start, moving from paralysis to action. Now, there's a really dangerous trap that catches incredibly smart people. They spend literally years in the planning phase. We all know that universal tendency to buy a huge stack of books we swear we're going to read only to leave them gathering dust on the nightstand, right? We become totally paralyzed by the fear of making a mistake. Napoleon Hill identified a crucial progression to break out of this: thought, decision, action. A thought is just a vague idea floating around. It only gains value when it becomes a firm decision. But, and here's the kicker, a decision is completely worthless until it translates into actual action. We all use the exact same excuse. Oh, I'll start when everything is perfect. But let's be real, perfect conditions rarely, if ever, arrive. If you look at highly successful individuals, almost all of them started out with incredibly limited resources. They made messy mistakes. They failed. The only thing that sets them apart is that they simply stopped waiting for the ideal moment. So, if you want to get going today, here are some key first steps to start right now. Read for just 1 hour. Commit to learning one new skill. Make that single, daunting business call you've been putting off. Taking action doesn't mean acting recklessly. It just means gathering enough info and having the guts to take step 1. Breaking your procrastination today brings you instantly closer to your larger goal. Moving right along to Section 3, overcoming fear and failure, rethinking setbacks. Okay, so you took the first step. Awesome, but what happens next? Well, inevitably, you're going to hit a hurdle. Exhaustion and self-doubt are going to creep in. That's when we need to fundamentally redefine failure. It is absolutely not a permanent definition of who you are. Honestly, it's just an essential part of the learning path. Successful people fail constantly. The difference is they don't sit around asking, why did I fail? Which really just invites self-pity. Instead, they ask, okay, what can I actually learn from this experience? And that brings us to Section 4, maintaining small habits, the power of compounding action. Starting is great and all, but that initial rush of motivation inevitably fades. When it does, how do you keep going? Let's move to and see how this builds with a quick analogy. Imagine two people who decide to start running. The runner on the left stops entirely after a few days because, naturally, they feel exhausted. But the runner on the right, they feel that exact same burning fatigue, but they push to improve just slightly every single day. Now, in week 1, the visual difference between those two runners is 0. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart. But stretch that timeline out to a full year, 365 days. The gap in their stamina and overall progress becomes absolutely massive. Life works exactly the same way. Sadly, so many people surrender at the exact moment they are quite literally just one step away from their goal. To pull this off, you need smart perseverance. So, here are your top tips for maintaining that consistent daily momentum. First, stop waiting for perfect conditions. It is a trap. Second, embrace small daily actions because consistency will always beat intense random bursts of effort. Third, adjust your path, but whatever you do, don't quit. Keep your eye locked on the goal, but be totally willing to change your route if you hit a brick wall. And finally, treat every single problem as a learning opportunity to get smarter. If there is one core philosophy to take away from all this, it is this. Success is hundreds of small actions compounded with a whole lot of patience. Major achievements are rarely these huge cinematic leaps forward. They are quiet, gradual steps. Some days you're going to see absolutely zero results. But if you stay on the path, those tiny steps turn into monumental, life-changing shifts. So I want you to ask yourself this right now. Who do I want to be tomorrow? And what can I do today to get closer to that person? Honestly, internalizing the answer to that question is more valuable than any expensive seminar you could ever attend. Don't expect everything to magically change overnight, but know for a fact that your daily actions are actively shaping your future reality. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the momentum to go out and take your first step today.